What would you do if the one person you trusted more than anyone on earth was living a complete secret life? I never thought I'd be the man sitting in a dark car at 2 a.m., staring at a second-floor apartment window on a street I'd never heard of, watching a silhouette that belonged to my wife move in a room that wasn't ours. The light from my phone cast a sickly blue glow on my hands, displaying a single, gut-wrenching text message I was never supposed to see. He'll never know. Just get here. Every breath I took felt like swallowing glass. I'd come for answers, but all I found was a truth so ugly it was about to burn down everything I had ever loved. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. For 10 years, Sarah was my world. We built a life in a quiet suburb of Chicago, in a house we'd bought together, the kind with a small garden and a 2-car garage. She was a successful marketing executive, sharp and beautiful, the kind of woman who turned heads but always, I thought, came home to me. I was a software developer, a quieter soul, content with our life, our routines, our shared dreams. The humiliation began subtly. It started at a company dinner. Sarah was across the table, laughing a little too loudly at a joke told by one of her colleagues. Mark, he was handsome in a generic, smug way, the kind of guy who wore expensive suits and a practiced smile. I watched her touch his arm, a gesture that lasted a second too long. A cold knot formed in my stomach. I told myself I was being paranoid, but it was the first crack in the foundation. Her behavior grew stranger. Late nights at the office became more frequent. Her phone, once left carelessly on the kitchen counter, was now always in her pocket or face down beside her. When I'd ask about her day, the answers became vague, clipped. Just work stuff, she'd say, her eyes not meeting mine. Then came the receipts. A charge for a hotel bar in downtown Chicago on a Tuesday she was supposedly working late. A credit card statement with dinners for 2 at restaurants I'd never been to. Each discovery was a small, sharp jab to the heart. I was a detective in my own home, searching for clues to a crime I didn't want to solve. The woman I loved was replaced by a cold, manipulative stranger. When I tried to talk to her, to bridge the growing distance between us, she'd turn it around on me. "Why are you so insecure all of a sudden?" she'd ask, her voice dripping with annoyance. "Do you not trust me?" She made me feel like I was the one losing my mind. Her and Mark, they felt untouchable. I saw them once, leaving a coffee shop on North Clark Street, laughing together, oblivious to the world. He had his hand on the small of her back. It looked so happy, so comfortable. In that moment, watching from across the street, I felt a level of worthlessness I didn't know was possible. They were living their life, and I was just a ghost haunting the wreckage of mine. The breaking point came on our anniversary. I'd booked a table at our favorite restaurant, the one where I proposed. She canceled an hour before, a text message citing a work emergency. I knew it was a lie. I went to the restaurant alone, sat at the bar, and drank until the city lights blurred into a meaningless smear. That night, I went home and cried. Not loud, angry sobs, but the silent, soul-crushing tears of a man who has lost everything. The grief was a physical weight, pressing down on my chest until I could barely breathe. But as the sun rose, something inside me shifted. Sadness began to curdle into a cold, hard resolve. The tears stopped. The broken man was gone. In his place was someone else, someone strategic, someone ruthless. My revenge began with a single, quiet click. I installed a keylogger on our home computer. I wasn't a pie, but I was a damn good software developer. The information flooded in. Emails between Sarah and Mark, filled with their plans, their private jokes, their contempt for me. They weren't just having an affair, they were building a future. And then I found the most damning piece of evidence, a lease agreement. Sarah had secretly rented an apartment, a love nest, and the landlord was none other than Mark himself. He owned the building. The text I'd seen that first night, "He'll never know. Just get here," was a message to the man who held the keys to her secret life. I saved everything, every email, every text, every bank transfer for the rent she paid him. I was building a fortress of proof, brick by painful brick. The trap was set. I knew Sarah's company was about to close a massive deal, one she had personally spearheaded. Her career was everything to her. I also knew Mark was married, a fact he'd conveniently hidden from Sarah. His wife was a prominent figure in Chicago's charity circles, a woman who valued reputation above all else. My plan had two fronts, legal and social. I hired the most aggressive divorce attorney in the city, a shark named Peterson. We filed for divorce, citing adultery, and attached a mountain of evidence that was impossible to dispute. The petition included a request to depose Mark, not just as the affair partner, but as the landlord in a fraudulent rental scheme designed to hide marital assets. Public exposure was a masterpiece of destruction. The day before Sarah's big company-wide presentation, I sent a carefully curated package. One went to the CEO of her company, containing the emails where she and Mark mocked their colleagues and discussed their affair on company time. Another went to Mark's wife, containing the lease agreement, photos of them together, and the most intimate of their messages. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. Sarah was fired. Her company couldn't risk the scandal. Mark's wife filed for divorce, and the story of the cheating landlord and his tenant lover became gossip fodder in the circles they so desperately wanted to impress. They were ruined, not with shouting or confrontation, but with the cold, undeniable weight of their own actions. The legal battle was short. Faced with irrefutable proof, Sarah was left with nothing. Her reputation was shattered. She was a pariah. I see her sometimes, a ghost in the city I now own. She looks older, worn down by the life she chose. We never speak. There's nothing left to say. The silence between us is heavier than any words could ever be. I won, but it feels like standing alone in the ashes of a burned-down home. The quiet is the loudest sound I've ever heard. The end.